To Miss Annen's AP English 4 class. I will be providing you with an overview of the fall 2015 semester, depicting a literary timeline of major genres and subgenres spanning from the middle of the Dark Ages to the height of the Renaissance in the Middle Ages. Using a pictorial literary timeline is a highly effective means of introducing literary eras, genres, subgenres, as well as major themes and motifs to students who, according to research, are 80% visual learners and 20% combined auditory and kinesthetic learners. Therefore, this methodology should benefit most students. The Dark Ages begins with the world's population beginning to decline over a 250-year course following the crucifixion of Christ on the cross and ending with the ultimate fall of the Roman Empire. A strong focus on fate ruling men's lives spilled over into the epic poetry and oral tradition. Beowulf, an epic poem of 3,157 lines, written in 507 AD, and reveals the culture of the Danish people. The entire epic poem is a biblical allusion centered around the causes and effects of the 7 despicable sins. The 3 conflicts of the Geats hero faces in the poem are Grendel's mother, and the dragon, protecting his hoard of treasure. As Beowulf seeks fame and glory during his youth, alludes biblically to the Holy Trinity. The younger and hero metamorphoses into a Christ figure who gives his life for his people as an older, wiser, and respectable king. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is a late 14th century Middle English poem reflecting the chivalric romance genre at the time of the legendary King Arthur and his Round Table Knights, written in alliterative verse with each stanza ending in a rhyme bob in wheel. This poem remains one of the best-known Arthurian legends, more properly known as the beheading game. According to the poem, Sir Gawain is challenged to a beheading game by a mysterious Green Knight on Christmas Eve. Gawain, King Arthur's youngest knight, strikes a blow to the Green Knight's head. However, the Green Knight does not die, but stands up, picks up his bloody, Metamucil-like head, and rides away from Camelot. After reminding Sir Gawain of his agreement to allow the supernatural Green Knight to strike a similar blow to Sir Gawain's neck a year and a day later. Sir Gawain symbolizes the Christian's quest to denounce temptation and sin. In his struggle to keep his bargain and word of honor, Sir Gawain exhibits both chivalry and loyalty, which are put to the test by femme fatale, Lady Bertilek, who tempts Sir Gawain 3 times in order to test his standing as a knight and his loyalty to the chivalric code. Ultimately, Sir Gawain discovers he has been duped by King Arthur's sister Morven through the use of magic in order to scare King Arthur's wife Guinevere to death out of jealousy to her power. According to the element of 3, Sir Gawain's life is first saved by a green and golden scarf, salvation. Then it symbolizes his shame in not keeping his word of honor as a knight. During the Middle Ages, from 1300 to 1600 AD, a radical shift occurred from a belief in a predetermined fate controlling mankind to humanism, where the individual determined his or her own fate. Another radical change involved a shift from violent paganism to a high focus on the church and God-inspired poems and stories. The high degree of trade routes to Italy led to the Italian Renaissance and led to a rebirth of learning and a new appreciation for the arts. Geoffrey Chaucer is known as the father of English literature, since he was the first to write his poems and tales in Middle English instead of traditional Old English. He is best known for the framed story, the Canterbury Tales, which reflects typical life in the Middle Ages as well as reflects a high respect for the church and the doctrines. The Canterbury Tales was written by Geoffrey Chaucer in 1392, 100 years before the Christopher Columbus of Spain reached the New World. This framed story, or a story within a story, spans well over 17,000 lines, and is actually a collection of stories narrated by Chaucer on the outside frame, but told from the point of view of Christian pilgrims traveling by horseback on a religious pilgrimage from London to the Canterbury Cathedral, the burial site of the martyred St. Thomas Becket. The stories are told as part of a contest where the winner of the best tale wins a free meal at a tavern inn near the Canterbury Shrine. This manuscript was the first to be published in Middle English and therefore a large appeal among Christian pilgrims. When people of the Middle Ages met the survival needs, it left them room for creativity and invention. The sonnet is an apt example of creative thought during the height of the Renaissance period. In the early Middle Ages, the trade routes leading to Italy led to the spread of ideas and creativity. Frank Petrarch invents the sonnet form in Italy, while William Shakespeare travels to Italy from England under the reign of Queen Elizabeth and learns the sonnet form. The bard from Stamford-upon-Avon returns to England and creates his own sonnet form by changing the rhyme scheme. Love sonnets of the Middle Ages reflect the notion that white skin equals beauty, while dark skin equals ugliness. In Sonnet 130, Shakespeare writes a parody of this mistaken ideal in an ironic sonnet dedicated to his beloved wife. This is the end of the semester. Thank you for listening.